The day started better than I could have hoped. While roaming the beach, I came across the body of a dead Carnotaurus. After grabbing a quick meal, my plan was to head deeper into the island. Unfortunately, a group of Apaches had other ideas. At first, I tried to avoid the fight. There were 3 Apaches, and taking them on alone wasn't exactly a great idea. But they just wouldn't leave me alone. So instead of running, I turned around and fought back. Using my speed, I managed to land several bites, but not without taking a few hits myself. Then a Tenno showed up, and that's when I knew it was time to leave. As if 3 Apaches weren't enough, another one appeared right in front of me. Luckily, its attack missed by inches. I kept running, hoping that sooner or later some of them would give up the chase. And that's exactly what happened. By this point, only 2 Apaches were still on me. With the odds looking a little better, I decided to turn around and fight once again. Unfortunately, my attack achieved very little, so it was back to plan A, run. I knew there was a steep drop ahead, and if the Apaches failed to slow down in time, the fall might do the job for me. Well, that worked. Without its backup, the last Apache stood little chance. After all that chaos, I needed a moment to heal. While I was resting, I heard footsteps nearby. More food had just arrived. After getting a drink, I made my way to North Lake, and it didn't take long for things to get interesting. Two aloes were already a problem. Then an adult arrived. That was my cue to leave. What I didn't know was that another fight was already waiting for me. As I turned around, I noticed a raptor standing on a nearby hill. It was watching everything. The moment we spotted each other, the fight was on. The raptor didn't seem interested in fighting for long. It quickly retreated across the river. That's when I noticed something interesting. 7 raptors. That was all the information I needed, so I immediately went back to running. At water access, I teamed up with a few other Dilos. They were hungry, so we immediately started looking for food. Before long, I heard a young trike nearby. We tracked him down and quickly realized he wanted no part in this. The moment he saw us, he tried to log out. Unfortunately, he didn't have enough time. This would give the younger Dilos exactly what they needed to grow faster. Soon, we found ourselves face to face with a prime elder Cerato. This wasn't the kind of target you attack without thinking. I was the only fully grown Dilo, and even with the group, this would be a difficult fight. We hesitated, we watched, we thought about leaving, but in the end, the temptation was too strong. We decided to attack. We quickly realized we had underestimated our opponent. After the first clash, one of us was already dead and I was badly hurt. Most groups would have walked away at that point. We did the opposite. More Dilos joined us, and the fight continued. In the middle of the fight, a young raptor showed up. We made quick work of it. The extra food helped us recover before turning our attention back to the Cerato. A few more bites forced me out of the fight. I had to stop the bleeding before it got any worse. By the time I was ready to return, another Dilo was gone. Only 2 of us remained. At this point, we wanted revenge more than ever. There was no turning back now. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, they did. While I was keeping pressure on the Cerato, my companion was recovering nearby. That's when a raptor attacked him. And just like that, I was alone. I managed to land a bite on the raptor. It was enough to make it back off and give me the chance to escape. If you think that was the end of it, you couldn't be more wrong. I wanted revenge more than ever. After healing up, I returned to the bridge. This time, my target wasn't alone. Together, they had picked a fight with a large herbivore. I watched from a distance, hoping the battle would leave them weakened. Maybe one of them would even die. Unfortunately, neither happened. They won the fight with barely any trouble. I moved closer to get a better look at the second Cerato. It seemed smaller than the one I had fought earlier. For a while, I just watched and thought about my next move. Meanwhile, the larger one stood on the bridge, making it clear that crossing wouldn't be easy. Eventually, I decided to stop thinking about it and just go for it. The plan didn't work out quite as well as I had hoped. I took a few hits in the process. Still, I managed to steal some food before retreating. At least it wasn't a complete loss. Once again, I healed up and went back to harass them. At this point, I refused to stop until one of us was dead. And what happened next was incredibly satisfying to watch. As soon as I spotted a Rex approaching from the side, I started spamming my calls to make sure the Cerato wouldn't hear it coming. After all the fights, all the injuries, and all the delos we lost, it was finally over. I never got to kill myself, but watching it happen was more than enough. The island had delivered my revenge. Later, I met another Dilo at Delta River. Together, we tracked down another Cerato. Unlike the last one, this fight was finally in our favor. We got him. But with the body lying halfway in the water, it wasn't worth the risk. So we left it behind. Next on our hunting list was a carno. There was just one problem. We could hear it, but we couldn't see it. As we got closer to the edge of the cliff, I noticed the tail sticking out from beneath the rocks. Well, reaching him wasn't going to be easy. And just like that, we had secured another big meal. After that hunt, it was time for me to log off. When I returned the next day, I found myself in a much larger group than before. The group wanted to head toward Delta Bridge. Personally, I didn't think it was the best idea. Places like that tend to attract trouble. Still, I decided to follow along. Just as expected, Delta River was packed with activity. While the others went looking for food, I stayed on the hill and watched the fights below. Everything seemed calm. Then, out of nowhere, I was attacked. Sometimes, gravity is the best hunting partner. The raptors were gone. Now it was my turn to survive the cliff. I did take some damage, but at least I was still alive, and the younger ones got a nice meal out of those pancake raptors. Next, we spotted two fully grown Patchies standing on top of a rock. Personally, I had no interest in fighting them. I was the only adult in the group, and the odds weren't exactly in our favor. Unfortunately, the younger ones had other plans, so I didn't really have a choice. I had to help. Then things got even worse. An adult aloe had arrived. By this point, I was already in terrible shape. Running wasn't an option. So I made my way into the water and started swimming. All I could do was hope the dino gods were on my side. The dino gods heard my prayer, just not in the way I had hoped.
Hello, how are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
After everything that happened, I guess getting eaten by a dino was a fitting ending. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.